what it was really like to live in a medieval castle. Beyond the legends of knights and ladies' introduction, close your eyes, if you wish, and let the cares of the day slip away. Imagine yourself drifting back through the mists of time to the rolling fields and shadowed forests of medieval Europe. In the heart of the 13th century, the air carries the scent of wood smoke and damp earth, and in the distance, a castle looms, its stone walls a symbol of power and permanence. Tonight, we'll step beyond the legends of knights and ladies into the quiet truths of a world both familiar and strange. You'll walk the muddy paths of a serf, follow the extraordinary path of a young visionary, unravel the shadow of a great calamity, and glimpse the gilded life within a castle's walls. This is a journey of endurance, faith, and mystery, crafted to soothe your mind and guide you toward rest. So settle in, let your thoughts soften, and imagine yourself in a time where every day was a testament to the rhythm of survival, carrying you gently into the night, the why it sucked to be daily life. Immersion. Picture yourself waking in the dim, smoky interior of a wattle and daub hut, nestled in a village at the edge of a lord's estate. It's early morning in a 13th century English manor, and the air is chill, heavy with the scent of damp straw and the faint temps of last night's fire. Your bed is a pallet of rushes, thin and prickly, pressed against the earthen floor. The rough wool of your tunic clings to your skin, its weave coarse and patched, offering little warmth against the draught that seeps through the walls. Outside, the village stirs a low chorus of roosters, the creak of a cart, the soft lowing of cattle, its rhythm, a constant undercurrent to your life. You are a serf, bound to the land and its lord, your days shaped by the endless cycle of labor. Your morning begins with a trek to the fields, your wooden clogs sinking into the mud of the path, the air sharp with the scent of dew and freshly turned soil. Your hands, already calloused, grip a heavy plough, its blade biting into the earth as you guide oxen through the furrows. The work is back-breaking, your shoulders aching with each step, your breath visible in the cold dawn. The fields stretch endlessly before you, their boundaries marked by the Lord's will, a reminder of the freedom you do not have. Your home offers little respite. The hut is cramped, shared with your family and perhaps a goat or two, their warmth a necessity in the uninsulated space. The central hearth smoulders, its smoke curling upward to escape through a hole in the thatch, stinging your eyes as you prepare a meager meal. Breakfast is potager, watery mix of oats, peas and herbs, its taste bland but filling, scooped from a shared wooden bowl. Bread, when you have it, is coarse, baked from rye or barley, its crust hard against your teeth. Water comes from a nearby stream, its taste faintly metallic, carried in a bucket that strains your arms. Hunger is a familiar shadow, not crippling but ever-present, a dull ache that underscores the rhythm of your days. The Lord's demands shape your life. You owe days of labor on his domain, planting his crops or repairing his fences, your own fields left untended until the work is done. Taxes bite deep grain, livestock, even the wood you gather from the forest belongs to him. The church, too, claims its tithe, a tenth of your harvest offered to a God whose mercy feels distant when the rains fail. Famine is a constant fear, its memory etched in the lean years when bellies swelled with hunger and villagers grew quiet. Disease stalks the land, carried on the wind or in the water, a fever that can claim a child overnight or leave you too weak to work. Cleanliness is a distant hope. Water is for drinking, not washing, and the grime of the fields clings to your skin like a second tunic. Your freedom is a dream, not a reality. As a serf, you cannot leave the manor without the Lord's permission, nor marry without his consent. A coin or a promise sealing the bond. Your life is tethered to the land, your children destined to inherit the same burdens. The village is your world, its boundaries marked by the church's bell, its toll a reminder of the church's grip on your soul. Sundays bring no rest, only prayers in a cold stone chapel, where Latin chants drift over you, their meaning as distant as the stars. Yet the church offers solace to a promise of a better world beyond this one, a flicker of hope in the endless grind. Leisure is scarce, but in the evening you might gather by the hearth. The fire's glow casting shadows on the walls. A neighbor shares a tale of saints or spirits, their voice a soft cadence against the crackle of the flames. You mend a torn tunic, the needle pricking your fingers, or carve a wooden spoon, its grain smooth under your knife. These moments, brief as they are a quiet rebellion against the toil, a chance to claim a piece of the day for yourself. But soon, exhaustion pulls you back to the pallet, the straw rustling as you settle, the village's sounds fading into the night. This is the life of a medieval serf, a cycle of labor and obligation woven into the fabric of the manor. The castle on the hill, with its banners and battlements, is a distant world, its feasts and finery as unreachable as the moon. Yet this is the foundation of the medieval world, built on the bent backs of those who till its soil, their lives a testament to the quiet endurance of the forgotten. As you lie there, let the rhythm of their days linger, a gentle echo to carry you deeper into the night. The biography, event narrative, as the humble village fades into the quiet of your mind. Let's turn from the toil of the serf to a different figure, one whose footsteps echoed far beyond the fields. Imagine yourself in the early 15th century, in a France torn by war and division, where a young woman named Joan of Arc emerged from obscurity to challenge the course of history. Her story is not one of castles or crowns, but of faith, courage, and a fleeting spark that lit the path of a nation. Picture her world a land of muddy villages and smoke-filled skies, where her quiet resolve reshaped the rhythm of her time. Let's walk with her gently through a tale that carries you deeper into the night. Joan was born around 1412 in a small village in northeastern France, where the air carried the scent of damp hay and the distant clang of church bells. Picture her as a girl, slight and unassuming, her hands rough from spinning wool or tending sheep. Her home was a stone cottage, its walls cool and damp, its hearth the heart of a modest life. The 100 Years' War cast a long shadow over its fields caught between English and French claims. Joan grew up hearing tales of battles and betrayals, her nights filled with prayers for a kingdom in turmoil. The rhythm of her days was simple spinning, praying, tending the flock, but within her burned a faith as steady as the stars. At 13, Joan's life shifted. In the quiet of a garden, or perhaps a field golden with summer, she began to hear voices soft, insistent, carrying the weight of the divine. She spoke of Saints Michael, Catherine, Margaret, whose words filled her with purpose. Imagine her standing still, the breeze stirring her hair, her eyes distant as she listened to whispers no one else could hear. These visions, as she called them, urged her to save France, to crown its rightful king, Charles VII, and drive the English from the land. To her village, she was still Joan, the peasant girl, but within her grew a conviction that would defy the world. By 1429, at 17, Joan left her steps resolute, her simple dress a contrast to the destiny she carried. Picture her journey to Vaucluse, a fortified town where she sought an audience with the local commander. The air was thick with skepticism, the room heavy with the scent of wax and leather as men questioned her claims, yet her voice, steady and clear, persuaded them. Granted an escort, she travelled to Chinon to meet Charles, a dauphin weakened by doubt and division. Imagine the castle hall, its stone walls hung with tapestries, the air cool and shadowed. Joan, in her borrowed armor, stood before a court of nobles, her words piercing their disbelief. She was sent by God to crown him king. Her faith won Charles' trust, and soon she was at the heart of France's struggle. Picture her at a city under English siege, its walls scarred by cannon fire. Joan, clad in armor that gleamed faintly in the dawn, rode among the troops, her Banara white field with lilies and angels fluttering above. Her presence was a spark, kindling courage in men weary from months of defeat. She led them through the chaos of battle, not with a sword but with conviction, her voice calling them to press forward. The siege was lifted, a victory that echoed across France. Its fields, no longer silent but alive with hope, was the first of her triumphs, followed by others. Pate Jarjawich, a step toward the Dauphin's coronation. In July 1429, Joan stood in Reims Cathedral, its stone arches soaring above, the air heavy with incense and the murmur of prayers. Charles was crowned, the oil of anointing glistening on his brow, and Joan, kneeling nearby, wept for the fulfillment of her vision. Yet her path was not one of triumph alone. The rhythm of her life grew heavier as politics and rivalries swirled. Charles, now king, wavered, his court divided by those who distrusted her influence. Joan pressed on, leading campaigns, her armor now dented, her body weary from endless marshes. In Issy Senling, her luck faltered. Picture the moment, a skirmish in the rain-soaked fields, the air sharp with the scent of wet earth and smoke. Joan was captured, pulled from her horse by Burgundian soldiers, allies of the English, her banner falling into the mud. Her captivity was a stark shift from the battlefield. Imagine her in a stone cell, its walls cold and damp, the air heavy with the musty scent of straw. She faced trial in Rouen, accused of heresy and witchcraft by a church court aligned with her enemies. The room was dim, lit by flickering torches, the air thick with the scratch of quills as scribes recorded her words. Joan, unlettered but sharp, answered their questions with clarity, her faith unshaken even as the charges mounted. The trial was a maze of theology and politics, its outcome shaped by power rather than truth. In May 1431, at 19, she was led to the marketplace, a place of jeering crowds and smouldering stakes. The fire claimed her, her life fading into the smoke, a quiet end to a voice that had stirred a nation. Yet Joan's story did not end there. Her death, meant to silence her, only amplified her legacy. Within years, France rallied, inspired by the memory of the peasant girl who defied kings and armies. By 1456, her trial was declared unjust, her name restored. Imagine the fields of once more, now quiet, the wind carrying whispers of her name. Joan of Arc, a figure of faith and defiance, became a symbol, her story woven into the rhythm of France's soul, a testament to the power of belief in a world of strife. As you lie there, let Joan's journey linger, our girl who rose from the fields to challenge an empire, only to return to the earth. Her life, brief but blazing, reminds us of the quiet strength that shapes history, even in the shadow of castles and crowns. Let this thought drift with you, soft and unhurried, as you sink deeper into the night. The mystery, archaeology, culture deep dive, as the echo of Joan of Arc's story fades into the quiet of your thoughts. Let us turn from the light of her faith to a darker shadow that swept across the medieval world. Imagine yourself in the mid-14th century, standing in a bustling port town, perhaps Messina or Genoa, where the sea carries the scent of salt and tar, and ships creak at them unseen. A silent calamity approaches. one that would reshape Europe in ways no one could foresee. This is the mystery of the Black Death, a plague whose origins and rapid spread remain a haunting enigma. Tonight, we'll explore its elusive beginnings. The medieval mind struggled to comprehend it, and the profound ripples it left behind, all woven into a gentle narrative to carry you deeper into rest. Picture the year 1347, as autumn paints the fields in gold and crimson. A ship docks in Messina, its sails tattered, its crew weary. The air is warm, heavy with the hum of merchants and the clatter of carts, but something is amiss. Whispers spread of strange illnesses, fevers, chills, and dark swellings that claim lives within days. This is the Black Death, a pestilence that would sweep from Sicily to Scandinavia, leaving villages silent and cities in mourning. But where did it come from? Why did it strike with such ferocity, and how did it unravel the rhythm of medieval life? The origins of the Black Death are shrouded in shadow, a puzzle that scholars still ponder. Imagine the vast steppes of Central Asia, where the wind carries the scent of dry grass and the distant bleat of goats. Here, in the 1330s, some believe the plague first stirred, perhaps in the trading hubs along the Silk Road. The disease, caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis, likely lived in fleas carried by rodents, thriving in the granaries and caravans that linked east to west. One theory points to the Mongol Empire, whose conquests and trade routes created a web of movement, allowing the plague to leap from marmots in the Gobi to rats in bustling markets. By 1346, it reached the Crimea, where Italian merchants, their ships laden with silks and spices, unknowingly carried it to Europe's shores. Another theory whispers of environmental shifts. Picture a world of changing climates, where wet springs and harsh winters disrupted harvests and drove rodents closer to human homes. The air, thick with damp or dust, may have carried the plague's seeds, though how it traveled so swiftly remains a mystery. Some suggest a second strain, spread through the air, hastened its march, but the evidence is faint, like footprints washed away by rain. Whatever its spark, the Black Death found fertile ground in Europe, a land of crowded towns, poor sanitation, and endless trade. Now imagine a medieval marketplace, its cobblestones slick with mud, the air alive with the cries of hawkers and the scent of fresh bread. Here the plague took root, spreading through fleas or contact, its path unseen but relentless. Medieval medicine, bound by ancient texts and superstition, offered little defense. Physicians, their robes heavy with the scent of herbs, stuffed in beak-like masks, spoke of miasma's bad air or divine wrath. They prescribed bleeding or poultices, their tools crude, their knowledge a flicker against the darkness. Imagine a healer's chamber, its air thick with the tang of vinegar and the murmur of prayers, as families sought cures that never came. The plague's symptoms: fever, swollen lymph nodes, a swift descent into shadow were met with fear, not understanding, a testament to the limits of their world. The Black Death's impact was profound, a tide that reshaped the rhythm of life. Picture a village, its fields untended, its church bells silent. In some places, half the people vanished, their homes left empty, their lives extinguished like candles in a storm. Cities like Florence and London grew quiet, their streets heavy with loss. The plague struck without mercy, sparing neither peasant nor noble, though the poor, crowded in damp hovels, suffered most. Imagine the marketplace now, its stalls abandoned, the air thick with the scent of decay and burning pyres. Families mourned in isolation, their grief a private weight, as communities unraveled under the strain. Yet the Black Death was not just a destroyer, was a catalyst. As you lie there, Consider its long-term echoes. With so many gone, labor grew scarce, and serfs found leverage to demand better wages or freedom. Picture a manor, its lord negotiating with tenants. The heir tents with new possibilities. Trade faltered, then shifted. As towns rebuilt and new routes emerged, the church, blamed by some for failing to stop the plague, saw its authority waver, planting seeds of doubt that would bloom in later centuries. Art and culture, too, changed. Imagine a cathedral wall. Its frescoes now painted with skeletal figures, a reminder of life's fragility. The mystery of the Black Death lies not only in its origins, but in its force that broke and remade the medieval world. Archaeologists uncover its traces in mass graves, their bones a silent record of loss, or in abandoned villages, their ruins overgrown with ivy. Scientists study ancient DNA, piecing together the plague's path, yet questions linger, like whispers in the wind. Why did it strike when it did? Could it return? These thoughts, soft and unhurried, invite wonder, not fear, as you drift through the past. As you rest, imagine a port town at dawn, the sea calm, the air fresh with the promise of a new day. The Black Death, for all its shadow, passed, and life endured, its rhythm reborn in the fields and streets of Europe. This resilience, quiet but unyielding, is the heart of the medieval storia, testament to those who faced the unknown and carried on. Let this linger, a gentle current, as you sink deeper into the night. The social elite / contrasting daily life as the shadow of the Black Death recedes into the quiet corners of your mind. Let's shift our gaze from the ravaged fields to the towering walls of a medieval castle where a different world unfolds. Imagine yourself stepping away from the serf's muddy hut, leaving behind the grind of the plough, and entering the cool, stone-lined halls of a lord's domain. Here, in the heart of a 13th century manor, life is woven with privilege and power, yet bound by its own intricate burdens. Picture yourself as a lord, clad in fine wool and fur, moving through a day where every decision shapes the land and its people, yet every choice carries the weight of obligation. Let this world of grandeur and duty envelop you, its rhythm a gentle tide to carry you toward rest. Your day begins in the soft glow of dawn, within the great chamber of your castle, perched atop a hill overlooking the village below. The air is cool, scented with beeswax and lavender from the rushes strewn across the stone floor. You rise from a canopied bed, its curtains embroidered with threads of silver, the mattress stuffed with feathers, a far cry from the serf's prickly straw pallet. Servants, their footsteps soft, draw back the shutters, letting in the pale light and the distant lowing of cattle. Your tunic is of fine wool, dyed deep green, its edges trimmed with marten fur, and your hose are fitted with care, a symbol of your station. A silver basin of warmed water awaits, its surface shimmering as you wash, the faint scent of rose water lingering on your skin. Breakfast is taken in the solar, a private room warmed by a crackling hearth, its walls hung with tapestries depicting hunts and saints. You sit at a polished oak table, nibbling at white bread soft and wheaten, unlike the serf's coarse rye-longside cheese, poached eggs, and a goblet of spiced wine, its warmth soothing against the morning chill. The meal is served on pewter plates, the clink of cutlery a quiet contrast to the village's shared wooden bowls. Your steward hovers nearby, his voice low as he reports on the manor's affairs harvest yields. Disputes among tenants, or the repair of a mill. You listen, nod, your mind already turning to the day's demands. For your power rests on the land and its labor, your morning is consumed by the business of lordship. In the great hall, its rafters darkened by smoke, You hold court, seated on a carved chair draped with furs. The air is heavy with the scent of wood smoke and damp wool as villagers and vassals approach. Their voices a murmur of petitions, disputes over land, requests for mercy, or oaths of fealty from knights. You judge with care, your words measured, for justice strengthens your rule, but mercy binds loyalty. A tenant pleads for relief from taxes, his hands rough from the plough, and you grant a small reprieve, knowing his labour feeds your wealth. The hall, with its banners and shields, is a stage where power is performed. Yet each decision weaves you tighter into the web of feudal obligation. By midday, you ride out to inspect your lands, your horse's hooves sinking into the soft earth, the air fresh with the scent of clover and distant rain. Your retinue follows night, a huntsman, perhaps a falconer with a hooded bird on his wrist. The fields stretch before you, their furrows a testament to the serf's toil, their lives a world apart from your own. You note the state of the crops, the strength of the fences, the flow of the stream that powers your mill. A village elder greets you, his bow stiff with age, and you exchange words about the harvest, your voice calm but firm. The ride is a reminder of your dominion, but also your duty to protect, to provide, to ensure the manor's survival in a world of rival lords and restless kings. The afternoon brings moments of leisure, though even these are bound by custom. In the castle's garden, its paths lined with rosemary and thyme, you walk with your lady or receive guests, the air soft with the hum of bees and the rustle of silk. A minstrel strums a lute, its notes drifting like petals, while you discuss alliances or the king's latest summons. Such moments are rare, for your life is a tapestry of politics, marriages arranged to secure lands, oaths sworn to gain favor, or rivalries nursed in quiet halls. Your children, too, are pawns in this game, their futures bound to distant houses, their betrothals sealed with parchment and wax. Dinner is the heart of the evening, a feast in the great hall, where torches cast a warm glow on stone walls hung with tapestries. You recline at the high table, your guests knights, clergy, perhaps a visiting noble seated below. Servants bear platters of roasted venison, swan stuffed with herbs, and tarts glistening with fruit. The air rich with the aroma of cloves and saffron. Wine flows freely, its taste bold and warming, served in silver goblets etched with your crest. A jester capers, his bells jingling, but your attention is on your guests, their words a dance of loyalty and ambition. The feast is a display of wealth, but also a reminder of the costs every dish a drain on the manor stores, every guest a potential ally or threat. As night falls, you retire to the solar, its hearth glowing softly, the air heavy with the scent of wax and parchment. By candlelight, you review accounts or dictate letters. The scratch of your scribes quill a steady rhythm. These moments of solitude are fleeting, for your life is never truly your own. The castle, with its thick walls and guarded gates, shields you from the serf's hunger and the plague's shadow, yet it binds you to a different struggle of power, duty, and the ever-present threat of war. Your wealth is vast compared to the village's mud-soaked huts, but your freedom is curtailed by the weight of your rank. Your days a delicate balance of rule and survival. As you lie there, imagine the castle at midnight, its towers silhouetted against the starry sky, the distant hoot of an owl breaking the silence. The Lord's life, for all its splendor, is a rhythm of responsibility, as relentless in its way as the serf's plough. The medieval world, with its castles and fields, is a tapestry of contrasts, labor and leisure, poverty and power, all woven into the fabric of a time long past. Let this thought linger, soft and unhurried, as you drift closer to the edge of sleep. Conclusion. As the glow of the castle's torches fades into the stillness of your thoughts, let your mind linger on the medieval world. Its fields golden under a waning sun, its stone walls whispering tales of endurance and change. Tonight, we wandered through the heart of the High Middle Ages, the muddy fields where a serf toiled under the weight of obligation, the battle-scarred paths where Joan of Arc carried her unshakable faith, the silent towns where the Black Death reshaped the rhythm of life, and the grand halls where a lord balanced power with duty. Each thread, so distinct, weaves together to form the tapestry of a time both distant and enduring, a story to lull you into rest. Picture the manor now, as night blankets the land. The village is quiet, its huts dark save for the faint glow of hearths. The serfs asleep, their dreams a fleeting escape from labor. Joan's legacy lingers in the wind, a spark of courage that outlived her brief years, inspiring a nation to rise. The shadow of the Black Death has passed, leaving fields reborn and societies reshaped, a testament to resilience in the face of loss. And within the castle, the Lord rests, his world of silken stone, a fragile bulwark against the uncertainties of his age. This is the medieval world, not just the realm of knights and legends, but a mosaic of human lives, bound by struggle, faith, and the quiet hope of tomorrow. As you lie there, wrapped in the comfort of your own time, let the weight of that world slip away. No longer do you bend beneath the plough or fear the toll of plague. The castles, feasts, the battlefield's clamour, the church's chants, they are echoes now, soft-knived by centuries, their stories preserved in stone and song. Yet they remind us of the strength that carried those lives forward, the quiet resolve that built a world from toil and trial. Let these thoughts drift with you, like embers fading in a hearth, carrying you gently from the cares of the day. The night is yours now, a haven of peace and stillness. The medieval world, with all its hardship and grandeur, recedes into the shadows, its tales told, its lessons shared. Close your eyes, if you haven't already, and let the rhythm of the past blend with the rhythm of your breath. Sleep well, knowing that the world you've visited tonight endures in memory, waiting should you choose to return. For now, let it rest, and let yourself sink into the gentle embrace of the night.